Take the time to write down all the things that you see up here on the board, and we're going to talk about them in just a minute. But I need to make sure that you've written them down before I start talking about them. It says, vertical angles are opposite angles formed by two intersecting lines. And vertical angles are congruent. In other words, they have the same measurement. I want you to see what they'd look like. They said it's formed by two intersecting lines. So, if I draw two lines that are intersecting, and I label these going around. Okay? Angle 1 and angle 3 are opposite of each other. Everybody see that? So angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical. Okay? What's vertical of angle 2?
Angle 4.
Angle 4. The other thing they said is, if you knew the measurement of one of them, the measurement of the other would be the same. So if I told you angle 1, if you see that, that stands for the measurement of angle 1 is 40 degrees. Then what is the measurement of angle 3? It's also what? 40 degrees. In fact, given something like this, if they give me one of these angle measurements, we can in fact find them all, because how many degrees are in a straight line? Anybody know?
360.
In a straight line. Not going all the way around, but halfway around is 180. So if this is 40, this one would be 180 minus 40. This would be 140 degrees.
Wait, why would you?
There's 180 degrees from here to here. Okay? I've used up how much of it? 40. How much has to be here? 180 minus 40, which would be 140. You with me? So if angle 4 was 140 degrees, how big would angle 2 be? It'd also be 140 degrees. Vertical angles are formed by two intersecting lines, and they are opposite or across from each other. And they have the property that they always have the same measurement. They're congruent. Everybody okay with vertical? Adjacent angles. A pair of angles that share a vertex and one side but don't overlap. There's one angle. Here's another angle. They share a vertex, a point where they come together. They share a side, but they don't share any of their inside. They have to share a side. They have to share a vertex. That's what makes these adjacent. And if you think about the word adjacent, this makes sense. Adjacent means next to. Audrey, who's adjacent to you? Okay, right? Right next to you. That's what adjacent means, side by side. These are side by side. That's what makes angle 1 and angle 2 in this picture adjacent angles. Everybody okay with the word adjacent? The other two that are up here are related. And the biggest mistake that I see with complementary and supplementary is students remember that complementary or supplementary, and they don't remember which one. One of them means 90, one of them means 180, and they can't determine which one is which. And I'm going to tell you, to me, there's a trick to it. Alphabetize them. Which comes first in the alphabet? Complement or supplement? This comes first in the alphabet. What comes first on a number line? 90 or 180? 90. So complement means two angles that have a sum. Sum means what? Addition is equal to 90. Anytime I see the word complement, I think of a blank plus a blank being equal to 90 degrees. Two angles that add up to 90. Anytime I see supplement. Question? That's up to you, how you remember it.
How would you draw that? Would it be like a...
What, complementary angles?
Yes.
That depends. And I'm going to show you an example of what I mean by it depends. Okay?
Would it be something that we need to remember?
You should be able to identify complement, supplement, adjacent, vertical. You should be able to identify. We're going to be able to calculate with complement and supplement and vertical.
So complement is
Complement means two things that are added together that equals what? 90. Supplement means two angles whose sum is what? 180. So if I see this word, I immediately blank plus blank equals 180. That's what I think of.
So just instead of having to write it, just write it down.
That's what I would do. Now, it's possible that complementary angles would be adjacent. It's possible that they could be vertical. It's possible that they are completely separate, because all it means is that there are two of them that add up to what? 90. So, it is possible that I draw two adjacent angles that are complementary. You can't assume from a picture that anything is 90 degrees unless they put the little box in the corner. If they did put a little box in the corner, if this was drawn this way, what can you tell me about angles 1 and angles 2? They add up to 90 degrees. They're complementary. Okay. So, I know that angle 1 and angle 2 are complementary. What else could you tell me about them? What else can you tell me about them? One of the other words that we learned. They can't be complementary and supplementary. They're what? They're adjacent. They share a vertex. They share a side, but they don't share any of their inside. They don't overlap. Okay? So angle 1 and angle 2 in this picture are complementary and adjacent. They can be both. Can you remember that that's what it means? Then I would draw it. If you can't remember that that's what it means, then I would draw it. Just as a point in passing. It's possible that I could have a 30-degree angle. And a 60-degree angle that are completely unconnected. And what can you tell me about these two angles? What are they? They're still what? Complementary. Okay? Am I good? Can I go forward? No. Your work is going to look similar to this tonight. It says name a pair of adjacent angles. In this one, they didn't label them 1, 2, 3, and 4. We need to talk about how to name something. Since I can't call it angle F, because there's more than one angle there, if I name it, I've got to name it with 3 letters. So I'm going to say angle CFD. Okay? I picked this one. CFD. That's an angle symbol. Okay? It kind of looks like a greater than, less than symbol, but it's not quite the same. Angle CFD. What would be adjacent to that? I could do CFB. I could have also done DF, I'm sorry, CF, no, DFE. I could have picked one on the other side. I could have not done AFE. If I'd have done AFE, although they shared a vertex, did they share a side? No. Okay? Name a pair of vertical angles. If I do this angle, DFE, what's vertical to it? AFB. Okay? It has to be the way you'd trace it out. The vertex is always going to be in the middle. It could have been BFA. Okay? Now, a pair of complementary, which means they have to add up to equal what? 90. This is one angle that's 90. If this is 90 over here also had to be what? 90. Because it had that little mark in the corner. Okay? If they put that mark in the corner, see it? If they put that mark in the corner, they told me that was 90 degrees. So, on the other side, CFB and BFA.
So wouldn't it be CFA because that's the only thing?
Okay, CFA itself is 90 degrees. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. To be two angles that add up to 90 degrees, I need two angles. CFB, that's one angle. BFA, that's the other angle, but together they equal what? 90. Okay? To be supplementary, they have to add up to equal 180. So, with that being said, if I'm looking at my picture, if I pick this angle, AFE, lock up. Dang it. Okay.
I never got it.
Quiet, please. Supplementary. If I use AFE, I need something that I can tell is going to add up to 180. Anything that makes a straight line is going to add up to 180. So I'm going to look at this angle, which is DFE. Question. Would BFD work? No, those would be vertical.
Wait, can you do that again?
Okay. If I choose AFE, I could pick this angle because these two put together make a straight line. Or I could have picked this angle because these two put together make a straight line. If they make a straight line, they add up to what? 180 degrees.
You were adding the AFE.
AFE to DFE should equal what? 180 degrees. Hmm? There's only 4 questions, but they're all multiple pieces. But most of them are just identifying something. Some of them you have to find a measurement, but most of them are identifying. Yeah, but you won't be able to help it. What time's class get out?